Hello, welcome in. Hope everyone is doing wonderfully today. There we go. Welcome in Country Shape, Ray, Bob. Bob, congratulations on getting first. So, ultimately, today, I'm gonna be doing some Mario Kart 64. This is gonna go very similarly to yesterday's stream, I believe. Just from the standpoint of, you know, I'm not gonna worry too much about completing everything. I'm just gonna get kind of a baseline sort of thing. I'm still quite low energy. You can probably hear in my voice I've gotten a bit better since yesterday. But I'm still a bit low energy, so I'm gonna keep it kind of that mellowed out sort of, vibe today. But yeah, I've never played this before. Just like I never played Super Mario Kart before. So this is gonna be an entirely new experience. For reference, I grew up on Mario Kart DS, specifically. DS and, Wii to an extent. So this is something that I hadn't played yet. So I'm excited to see what happens. Hello, Ockley, and welcome in. Yeah, I'm still a bit low energy. But overall, I've got kind of my... I'm starting to get back to normal. I'm low energy from the standpoint of just, like, you know, mental exhaustion at this point. As opposed to anything else. And that's just because of the stress of the past week. So I'm not super worried about that. That'll also fade over time. But yeah, that's all I really have to start this off, so let me do this. This sound is very low.
Drink water, you dehydrated bitch.
I will do in a bit. I did drink quite a bit because I had to take some meds right before stream, so I'm gonna hold off on that for a little while. Alright. 100cc. Just to start it off.
Select your player. Okay. Select map.
Alright. Honestly, the cool thing with this is I recognize just about all of these maps at this point. Because outside of DK's Jungle Parkway, I unironically think DK's Jungle Parkway is the only one that I haven't played before in some capacity. Because Luigi's Raceway was on the DS, Moo Moo Farm was on the DS, Koopa Troopa Beach was on the Wii, Calamari Desert is on the Switch, Toad's Turnpike is on the Switch. Frapp Snowland is DS. Choco Mountain was DS, now it's also on Switch. Mario Raceway, that one feels like it got put into the Wii, but I feel like it was reworked. So I'm not 100% on that one. Wario Stadium, that looks very different than the Wario Stadium I'm aware of from the Wii and the Switch. Sherbert Land is from the Wii. Royal Raceway for the Switch. That Bowser's Castle looks like it was on the Wii. Not 100% on that, though. Yoshi Valley, Banshee Boardwalk, Rainbow Road, all Switch and whatnot. Hello, Saza, welcome in. And I'm not the stinky one. Happy birthday, Saza, by the way. So, yeah, let's just get started. Oh, yep, already, these controls are very slippery. Okay, holy shit, I do not like the camera. Okay, so the controls are a lot more... The controls are a lot more in line with more modern stuff, but the camera is not. What do you mean? Happy birthday, Saza. It's your birthday today. Yeah, the camera while doing drifts is very awkward. I'll say that much. What? Okay, yep. That is... Now let's see, is it gonna play by Super Mario Kart's rules where you have to win every race in order to continue? Or like get a top spot in every race to continue? Oh wow, that does not do nearly as much to stop you as in modern games. A shock in third. That is actually kind of insane. Interesting. Erpy! Hello, hello, welcome in. Hope you're doing well today. 9 points for first. That feels like a very awkward number to choose, but okay. This was my favorite track on the DS. Like, that you could play multiplayer. My favorite track on the DS is Airship Fortress, which I'm so happy is coming back in Mario Kart World. This one gets a lot of flack for being generic, because, I mean, look at the map. But I really liked this. I'm planning on it anyway. I'm not sure how, I'm not sure how well I'll do, just because I'm still very out of it from earlier this week. I'll talk to you a bit about that once I'm done with the stream, though, Erpy, so I can kind of go over some of that stuff with you before we start. If you don't mind, of course. I missed. Damn. So I'm just figuring out those. Okay, yeah, that sounds good. I mean, essentially, I've told stream about this week. I got my wisdom teeth out earlier this week, so I'm still very low energy and stuff like that, and I just wanted to kind of bring that up and talk about it a bit with you before we start. Just so I'm able to talk to you about, like, expectations and stuff like that going into it, because I am not going to be anywhere near as much as, like, I normally could be. Yeah, but, you know, I'll talk to you more about it later. So, oh, I was a bit too early there. But yeah. Grab. I missed. Interesting. There's Poppin on the other characters. Okay, yeah, you can overdrift. Overdrifting is an actual thing. That wasn't like my imagination in the other game. Damn, Toad is just going off right now. Cause I hit the tree? Oh, come on. I glanced that at best. Interesting. Okay. I can definitely tell I'm better at this already than I was at Super Mario Kart. Granted, it's still taking quite a bit to get used to the drifting specifically. Because the drifting is very much so slippery. And you can overdrift, which is strange because I'm so used to the other games where like you just can drift all you want to gain speed. Bowser, come on. Best character in... Oh, yeah. All of the characters have their own stats, don't they? Toad got such a lead there. Well, okay then. Sure. Too far. Oh! This was the first instance of those, fake item boxes. Honestly, I almost feel like it's better to not drift most of these right now. Hello, Marion. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well today. Wario is just up there. I tried to dodge out of the way of it, but I slid right into it. What? That was some awkward collision, which I mean is to kind of be expected, but... Blue shell. Interesting. Okay. So the blue shell originally didn't fly. That was something that was added in later on that they then brought back for 8. Okay. Donkey Kong and Flame Rider is fast combo. Yeah, yeah. Though that usually gets attributed to specifically the Kart and just the fact of heavyweight character. I know 8 had actual like character stats and stuff like that as well. Like, I know that one of the reasons why I like using Inkling Girl is because she has a slightly higher invincibility window, which tends to be very helpful for me. I love that they used the Mario 64 castle and just assets. I really like that. Low-res PNGs. The fuck? All right. Immediately much better than Super Mario Kart. For reference, those of you who weren't there for yesterday's stream, I played Super Mario Kart, which was the game that preceded this one. You have to get top 4 in every race to continue. I could not make it past 2 races in a 5-race Grand Prix. I will say, I like 100cc in this game. Once I get through a bunch of the courses, I will look into 150cc just to try it out, but I'm gonna go through all these races first. Once again, that timing is so awkward to me. The music is so quiet. It also really does feel like there's no... It really does feel like there's no, like, item balancing in terms of when you can get items. Because, like, getting a shock in 3rd place seems overpowered. You know, getting a star right at the start of the race. You know, this is the one track I would have believed there would be random ones kind of thrown about. Yeah, no, this is not going nearly as well. Yeah, the music is so quiet compared to everything else. So, like, I will say, that is not a thing that I can, like, realistically change. That's, like, in the games. Bruh, 5-car pileup. Honestly, it's not that bad to be hit by stuff like banana peels in this game. Yeah. Trying to thread that needle was never gonna work. Interesting. Okay. It's very interesting to see how these courses have changed over time. Because, like, obviously, this one was in 8 Deluxe. I don't remember if it was the DLC or the base game. But, like, it's so vastly different than in that game. That red shell was useless. You get 5 banana peels as opposed to 3? Ooh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I had a very clean last lap there. I'm just on Peach's ass. Ah, oh, really unfortunate. Ah, this one. I absolutely love this track and its music. I'd rather Rosalina. I don't know, Peach is very, like... I don't know why, specifically, but Peach is just very... not my style. Yeah, like, I'm in the top half. Why am I getting a star? Like, this feels very unbalanced in terms of items. But yeah, no, this... Unironically, I played this track a shit ton on the DS. Cause that... it shows back up on the DS. I feel like it was because there was a challenge specifically I struggled with. But like, I absolutely love the music in this course. Percent change in this game. That would make sense. Damn it. The snowball mission? Maybe, yeah. But yeah, no, I played that so much that, like, the music just got ingrained into my head, and I absolutely adore the music. Yeah, for sure. There are some amazing vibes. This one is one that I'm glad came back. Cause like this is another one where the music is just phenomenal. Yep. Like, I'll say this much. Obviously this is my first time playing this game. But I think that this game has the most saturation of favorite OSTs in the game, in the series. The reason I say that specifically with saturation, is because my favorite soundtrack is the DS soundtrack. There's something about it that just, you know, feels really good to me. I like the DS sound font in a lot of games. But I feel like some of my favorite specific tracks in terms of soundtrack are from this game. You cannot turn while you're in the air. Just gonna mention that. Ta-da! Removed skyboxes with fog and such. Yeah. Like, this game did a lot of things right. The controls are slippery. Which, that is something that, like, you know, you can't really escape from in early games, because even Kirby was like that. Which is a completely different style game altogether. But, like, apart from that, this game did just about everything else, like, perfect. Yeah, this was reworked as Mario Circuit later on. That was just rude of me at that point. Yeah, it's one of those things. I can't wait to get to, like, Bowser's Castle. Because Bowser's Castle courses in every game are always really cool. Too far. Interesting. They don't spin you out like they do in later games. That one was interesting. They also used a bunch of the sound effects from Mario 64 in this game. Like Mario's, Yippee. I missed all of those. Are you kidding me? Wow, okay. Peach is so much closer in actuality than on the map. It feels like. Alright, let me read this message. What are the princess though? Gotta be a tie between Daisy and Rosalie. Yeah, fair. I think it does ultimately come down to, for me, that Peach is just basic. Peach is just incredibly basic as a character, which makes sense. You want a generic character to go with the generic protagonist. I say generic, you get what I mean. But like, I don't know. Peach just doesn't do it for me. Daisy doesn't really either, but she does it better than Peach, in my opinion. I do think it is entirely they have more character to them. I can't skip this. I do really like that they reused a bunch of Mario 64 assets. I mentioned that already, but just they used the castle courtyard asset from the game. They used Mario sound effects. They used, like, you know, a bunch of stuff like that. I really like that. As a princess, so she can be coded. Of course.
Select your player. Select map.
All right. Here we go. Yeah, this is already vastly different than the Wario stadiums I'm used to. And both the ones I've played were different from each other. So, I guess my question then becomes, they obviously reuse titles for tracks. Could you call Wario Stadium on the Wii a remake of this map? Because it's so vastly different. What one am I thinking of then? Waluigi Stadium? Is that... Okay. Then what's the one on the Switch? On Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? Because there's another one. Because that one, I feel like it wasn't Waluigi Stadium. I feel like I distinctly remember Wario Stadium. I don't know. I'm probably just going crazy. Or Stadium DS. That might be the one I'm thinking of then. Interesting. Okay. I don't know how to throw a banana peel in front of me. Now, I guess my other question is, do you get boosts from drifting, or is drifting entirely just for the sake of turning corners in this game? Because it feels like nothing's really happening outside of just me turning the corner sharply. The jostle like in DS. Okay. That makes sense to me. It's just a matter of, like, it doesn't feel like I'm getting much of a boost when I release. Which that could entirely just be because of the way the camera angle on this game works. Yeah, exactly. It's giving the feedback with the color of the smoke and the sound effects, but, like, I'm not feeling, like, a visible speed boost. Also, the incredibly low frame rate gameplay on like, the Jumbotron. Oh. Okay, how do you throw behind you? That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's a wall. Damn it. I was too focused on trying to figure out how to throw in a different direction. 5 FPS Jumbotron is great, yeah. I'm actually gonna look it up. Do you get boosts from Mario Kart 64 drifting? Turbo drifting happens when you finish a drift properly. It allows you to achieve a mini speed boost, allowing you to race faster than those who do not use turbo drifting. What does that mean? Wow, this guide. Step 1, start up the Nintendo 64 system. Step 2, choose your game mode. Step 3, characters. Wait. Okay, it's back and forth. Should have a trail of yellow E's. Complete the drift plot properly. Now have a trail of red/orange E's. So you have retrieved the trail. You may now release the bumper. If everything went according, then you should hear your character greet you with a successful drift sound clip. Okay, so I am getting the drift. It's just a matter of there's no, like... I'm not feeling a speed boost at all. Purchase Nintendo Switch system. Right? Exactly. So I watched a, not a documentary, because it wasn't. It was a YouTube essay, about the music of the Mario Kart series and how it changed over time. Talking about, like, you know, the different directors, why they chose what they did. It was one of those things that was, like... It was really interesting to learn about because, like... The different styles of each of the games... Like, you can tell that they went through a variety of different styles. There was a new composer for almost every game. There were, like, maybe 2 games in a row that ever had the same composer, and I think it was this one and Advance. And I just find that really interesting because you get, like, in Japan as well, like, this style of, like, I'm blanking on the genre term, but almost like jazz is synonymous with racing in Japan because of a, like a specific channel on Japanese television that showed races. They used, this sort of stuff during, like, their races and stuff like that, so it became synonymous with racing. That's why we got this style music in the first place. I'll take a cheeky third there. Wow, my last lap was better than my first one despite the fact of what happened during my last lap. Jazz with racing as well. Yeah. It might not have been Jazz. I would have to look at the video again. It might have been like smooth R&B, something like that. Cuz it was like this early on in the series. Like this is the music that they were talking about. Whee! Back before the hang gliders were a thing. I will say, I think that's one of the more negative things to come out of more recent titles in the series. I feel like the hang gliders very much so started to limit what the devs could do in terms of interesting level design. Like you get like cannons and like huge ramps and stuff like that. They would give you a hang glider, which, you know, makes sense when you have them, but like you get stuff like this where like obviously you don't have a hang glider. It's an interesting, like, level design to have this sort of, like, massive jump that you're just kind of falling for. So I feel like in that sense, like, even going back as far as, I cannot make that turn. Like, in the 3DS game, when it first introduced it, you got, like, Luigi's Mansion. Which they had to include a... Like, they had to include a hang glider section, because, hey, we have hang gliders in this game. It just felt very out of place for the level. So I feel like something like that... I won't say it ruined the series, but it certainly didn't help. No longer exists in BC. Hold on. Ugh. Damn. Really unfortunate. Here we go. Chris, I haven't put a glider in Koopa Cave and went over half the river section. Kind of ruined it. Yeah, exactly. You do have to be in top 4 to continue. Interesting. Yeah, the one issue, one of the biggest issues I have with hang glide sections in these courses are the fastest route from point A to point B is a straight line. So if you can be in the air and not have to worry about driving the course, you can go in a straight line. That's one of the biggest issues, is because it removes a lot of actual track from the racing game. Once again, I fall down the side there. Cooler with those barrel rolls you can do. Yep, and I don't think there are hang gliders. I know they got rid of underwater and anti-grav, which is already pretty big because, like, you know, granted, they didn't really add much other than, hey, now you can go upside down. That's so funny. But, like, I do have kind of high hopes that they're almost returning to form. Those plane wings. Right, they did have that. Forgot about that part of the trailer. That was an awkward hitbox. I am not getting first in this. In this cup, essentially. Meow. Yeah, no, this is pretty much lost cause, especially since I just missed those item boxes and hit that one. Meow. Every time. I just cannot get used to that. That last turn just, like, fucks me every time. But it's fine. Yeah, this is... I can't win. I physically can't win this. Bowser's Castle. Alright, let's see. Which Bowser's Castle is this? I will say, I do think my favorite Bowser's Castle... Oh, I know this one. I think my favorite Bowser's Castle is, actually, it might be this one. I was gonna say the DS, but this is, I think, the one I'm thinking of. Nope, it's not. This one was on the Wii. Yeah, I think my favorite, Bowser's Castle track is the DS Bowser's Castle. You know, the one with the spinning cylinder. Come on, turn left. Thank you. How did they get to drive immediately? Is that a Mario power thing? All right, Bob. Take care. Enjoy cooking. Damn it. Turn left, you dumb fuck. This game had the ability to trick off ramps. I instinctively do that. I'm not sure if you noticed, but in the first race today, I instinctively like tried to trick on the tops of ramps. And once again, I cannot skip this in any way. All right. Yep. Thank you.
Mario Grand Prix.
All right.
Select map.
Finally, Special Cup. Wait, was this one on the Wii? Oh, I feel like I remember this now. It was on the Wii. Damn. Meow. You went off-road? Yeah, I noticed. You know, I've always kind of like my kind of thought with Mario Kart tracks and stuff like that is that I always imagined, now granted this is obviously not the case, but I always imagined that characters had home turf advantages on some courses. Like for example, DK would be better on this track. Or like Yoshi Falls on the DS, Yoshi would be better at. I just imagined that growing up. That was what I imagined happened in the games. I missed. Wow, and DK just took all of those bananas. You have to have a boost for that. Damn. I thought it would just be slower, but you actually can't make it up. Home field advantage on? Dragon Driftway, probably. I'd have to look at some of the other courses to really say for sure, but that was just like, I don't know, that was something that I always thought like, hey, that's an interesting thing, because it would be one of those cases where, when I'd be playing on CPU, like against CPUs, Yoshi would always win Yoshi Falls, like, Toad would always win Toad's Factory, stuff like that. Okay, yep. I knew it was this course, I don't know why I went the direction I did. I will say, I don't like that you can't tell, like, the order. I'll need to try and remember which route to go. Because, like, I'm in 3rd or 4th right now. And 1st and 2nd have a phenomenal lead. I'm trying to look at the map to figure out what the quickest route is. Because granted, on the Switch version, it's this route. But I almost feel like it's not. That was a close one. Yeah, that is not the quickest route. Damn it, DK. Piece of shit. Yeah, that... I'm struggling to figure out what was the quickest route there. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna win this one. Banshee Boardwalk. This one was interesting. I don't remember why. But there... On the DS, there's a section of this stage. I don't know if it's in this version of the game as well. But there's a section of the stage where there's a fish that jumps over the track. There. For whatever reason, I feel like I could remember being able to be eaten by that fish. I don't know why. Because obviously it's not the case. It's a very stage-specific thing that's just kind of there. But I feel like I specifically remember being able to be, like, eaten by the fish for some reason. Oops. That is so long to respawn. That blue shell was a waste. Bowser, you piece of shit. I tried drifting and it didn't drift. Just want to point that out. That's why that was such an awkward turn. How are people so quick? How am I in third? What the fuck is happening? Like, this seems so inconsistent with spacing. Shells can just hit the wall and give up so easily. Yeah. Mario's home field advantage. Even if I got first there. Well, I could still win it. Theoretically. Because all we've got left is Rainbow Road. This is 3 lap. Wow, okay, you just fall there. This is 3 laps on this long-ass course? Bruh. This very much so reminds me of the DS Rainbow Road because of how the track looks. Which I absolutely love this. I prefer this over the like kind of pixel tile that it came to have in the Switch. Yeah, no, I can definitely see, like, why they would make this track a 1-lap course in 8. What? Because that is a 2-minute long lap, right? As opposed to the... As opposed to the minute-long laps of other stuff. It's twice as long of a course. Which, I mean, from the standpoint of Rainbow Road, it makes sense to be the longest course. Because, let's face it, it is, like, the course of Mario Kart in any of these games. But like a full 2 minutes of a single lap and having to do 3 laps, that's definitely a lot. Hello, Star. Welcome in. One of my favorite things about playing against CPUs, especially if they're easy CPUs, like, they'll know that something is bad and still run into it. Like the fake item boxes. Like they know, oh, that's not a real item box because it needs the collision for it. But yet it'll still run into it because, oh, it's simulating a real player thinking it's an actual item box. Yeah, you can't just hold a direction to drift in this game. You can't just hold the direction because it'll start over drifting. Bruh. That's such an awkward drop down. Why would they add that? Oh yeah, no, the music is phenomenal. You know, I kind of half wish that they would go back to drift boosts being related to, like, flicking the stick back and forth. But at the same time, I completely understand why it's not. Because you got the whole meme of snaking out of that. Because it makes it incredibly easy to just get boosts consistently. But I don't know, there's something about this, like, use of the stick kind of like, as like a sort of catch for it. Ta-da! I don't think I won. I think I got second. Yep. By 1 point. And that's every course in this game! Woo! We actually made it through all of them. Do you really? The only reason I'm not gonna, like, say, oh, I need to get fourth now, is because getting specific getting specific placements is a lot harder for me in this game. Like, I did the, you know, there was a challenge going around for a while in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, where you would play online and you had to try and get every placement. Like, you know, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, all the way to 12th. And you had to get one of each before repeating any of them. I got that first try. Like, for me, it's a lot easier to get specific placements on something like that than this. I will look it up later if I don't get it.
Grand Prix. Select your player.
Alright.
Select map.
I think I'm gonna do... I think I'll do Flower Cup on 150cc just to see what it's like. Yeah, first place triple green shell. That is not a placement based, like, item box. Okay, this isn't bad. It's just slightly faster than 100cc. That's all it is. This is actually quite difficult trying to thread the needle on stuff like this because of the nature of the slippery controls. Ugh. Yeah, like, I like, in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, on, like, stuff like this, I would go on the inside of the vehicles. Pretty much every time. It hit everyone on the way to first. Is that what it does? Does it go after everyone on the way to first? Going inside. Ooh. Yeah, Urpy? Am I the one going inside? Alright, alright. I would like to clarify. I would very... Oh, hey, Boo. I'd very much so like to clarify. Urpy is a really good friend of mine. They're an amazing person and also a content creator. Go check them out. So they can get away with those sorts of jokes. More than most people. I'll put it that way. They can get away with more jokes with me because, like, they're a close friend. So... Just want to clarify that before people start getting ideas. I believe this is the command? Yeah. There you go. Yeah, a lot of, you know, I'm very open with, like, lewd jokes and stuff like that, like, some sus stuff. But I do want to clarify that, like, there are some lines that I do draw that very few people can get away with crossing. Urpy is one of them. I've run into 2 out of 2 snowmen so far. Oh, this is my worst one yet. Also, I will say, in the DS version of this track, they really didn't change the polygons at all. Welcome back, Bob. Let's see. Just because. Nope. I'm gonna have to redo this race anyway. What? Ooh. I know in Mario Kart 8 specifically, it's better to spam it. But I almost don't know if that's the case here, because it almost feels like it resets your speed every time. Damn. I tried. I did bring that back, though. You have to admit, I did bring that back. Choco Mountain. I do love that Mario's exclamation just like is essentially motherfucker. I don't know why I like that so much. Like, obviously it's not, because this is Nintendo we're talking about. But like, I don't know why, but I just find it so funny that that's just something I can hear Mario saying at this point. Ooh, that was a smooth one. Hi, DK. Well, that fucking sucked. Yeah, I do want to say, I'm not doing bad. Like, I've gotten pretty used to the drifting in this game. It's not super different from the DS drifting. Which obviously is the one that I grew up on. It's entirely just a matter of the fact you can overdrift. That's really the only difference. And then a bit of like more slippery controls from the rest of the cart. Like the rest of the controls. And then I start doing this. Why is my drift button not working half the time? Bruh. I'm getting fucked here. And not in the fun way. Ugh. No! 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 That's so unfortunate! Spin out in this game. I think what's happening when I'm spinning out is I'm doing the thing where I, like, shake the joystick a bit back and forth. Which is what you do, like, to, like, build a drift boost. So sad. It's the only reason I lost. And if you do that without drifting, you spin out. Because you're turning the wheel too fast. I think that's what's happening. Oh, I see some Bowser in the back there. DK just like... DK in the cart is so funny to me for some reason. Alright. I am gonna do one more. Just for the sake of it. Actually, let me check the options just to see. I'll try that, I guess. I don't know if that's gonna change anything. Alright. I'll leave it up to you guys. What character do I play for my last round in this game? I have only played Yoshi so far. That's one vote for Mario, one vote for Luigi. Yeah, my go-to used to be Yoshi. And still is to an extent, obviously. I used to pick Yoshi for everything. Until, like, later on when they started using, like, Rosalina and Birdo and stuff like that. That's when I kind of shifted off of using Yoshi for everything. Well, we've got one for Mario, one for Luigi. Let's split the difference and go Wario. I feel like that's fitting.
Select map.
Yep. Oh, he has very slow acceleration. I see. I should have saved that. It's all good. I got a replacement. That sucked. That almost wasn't worth it. There we go. Second place golden mushroom. Yeah, DK had a boost to go up that side, I think. Going to because that's a big W for Waluigi. M for Mario. No. W for Waluigi. Yeah. I know the one you're talking about. Whoa, okay, I went so fast. That is so insanely slow. That, like, puts me pretty much dead last. Yeah, I couldn't figure out where to go with that. Great. I don't know what place I'm in. I want to say it's 5th right now. Well, going this way, I guess. Even though this way is, I think, the slowest. I was too busy looking at the sign. I'm so confused. I got turned around somehow. There we go. Bruh. Why am I going so damn fast? Like, Wario has uncontrollable speed in that section for, like, no reason. And once again, my drift button didn't fucking work. Ooh boy, okay, yep, I'm starting to get to that point. Yeah, one of the other reasons why it's so difficult to get specifically 4th, I think, is because if you get lower than 4th in any given race, you're just kind of, like, forced to start over the race. So it's not really even a matter of, like, oh yeah, you can... Yeah, no, I'm just a lot faster there. Alright, I'm gonna go this way. Just to see. Yeah, that is a lot quicker, just more dangerous to go. I went off the side. Oh, this is so bad. Okay, I made it through. I will take a 3rd. 4th, I guess. Oh no, I still got 3rd. Alright, Banshee Boardwalk. I will say, one thing that I'm finding interesting that I just realized in that last race, if you're holding down the acceleration button when you get dropped in by Lakitu, you spin out. I did not know that. That's not a thing in newer games. But it is so damn slow to accelerate. I'm so bad with with Wario. Why? Does he go faster than most others? Because I feel like he's a lot harder to control. Not from a standpoint of the controls are worse, but it feels like it feels like I'm going too fast to do anything about it. Turn right. Come on. So many haunted boardwalk courses in this series. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if someone at Nintendo just like is scared of boardwalks. All right, last one. This will be my last race for today. Damn, that was unfortunate timing. Bruh. Toad was right in front of me and you go into the wall. What the hell? Yeah. What? Yep. I went right into that one. Okay, got one off at the last second. Good. Right?
Here I go. Here I go.
Surprisingly, I'm better at Rainbow Road in this game than 90% of the other tracks. Just like the opposite of what you would expect, because Rainbow Road is typically seen as the most difficult track in any game, any of these games. I think it's because there's like, I think this is realistically the only one that has walls everywhere. I think everywhere else, like, there's places missing walls kind of strewn about. There we go. I had to regain my drift traction. Yeah. I do also like that inclines change your acceleration speed. It takes longer to accelerate on a upward slope than a downward slope. Damn. Okay, I've got about a minute left. Almost. I will take the second. Now I'm curious, if I had gotten fourth there, would that have put me in fourth here? No. DK with 36 is insane. It was fun. I definitely like it more than Super Mario Kart. It definitely has the quote-unquote classic feel.
I'm gonna win.
Um,
Welcome to Mario Kart.
and this is why I wanted to play it on 150cc. No, I definitely enjoyed it. It really just goes to show how little the series has changed over time. Like, you got... The first game was very awkward. I did not like the first game. I'll be 100% honest. Its controls were overly slippery. It wasn't very clear on how it was supposed to work. You just kind of couldn't do much without, like, mastering, quote-unquote, the controls. This one, they changed it up a bit to make it easier to control. Yes, it's still a little bit slippery, but not nearly as much. And the drifting is very clear on what's happening. The items are also a lot more consistent, despite the fact that it's more % chance to get any of them rather than placement-based. The items themselves felt like I was getting a good mix of them throughout. Tracks and music were phenomenal. Like, no notes. The big thing is you can tell it's an older game. Some of the collision is a bit wonky. Obviously it's very low poly. But ultimately, you know, you can tell that they really liked making this. I will still stand by the point that I think that Mario Kart DS is my favorite. Okay, you go from a full 2D to a 3D, right? Really paves the way for the future. Exactly. You went from 2D to 3D, in this game. In the next game, I don't know what the quote-unquote gimmick is that they add.
Hey, you very good. See you next time.
Because I haven't played Advance. It's the only Mario Kart game at this point I haven't played. DS introduces, I want to say introduces kart selection. Or no, I also have Double Dash. Double Dash is going to be interesting. Because I don't know how that gimmick is going to work. Properly anyway, because I don't have the experience of it. Well. I guess I'm done anyway. But no, I want to say DS introduced, hold on, let me get this running. Just so there's some background noise. I want to say DS introduced the ability to choose your kart. We introduced wheelies, like bikes, as well as tricks. The 3DS introduced battle mode. It did, but there was already battle mode. There was a battle mode in this game. It's just locked behind 2-player. DS probably did online. I mean, obviously there's DS download play and stuff like that. Now that I think about it, what is the first Mario Kart game to reintroduce tracks? Super Circuit. Okay. Super Circuit, which is the Game Boy Advance game. Well, not a full-fledged remake. It features the SNES courses in a more basic style. First game to introduce retro tracks from multiple platforms was Mario Kart DS. So, is Super Circuit just a one-to-one remake? That might actually be... Hold on. Okay, no, it didn't. Oh, that's where Ribbon Road comes from. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so it looks like, Super Circuit was technically the first. To reuse tracks, but a lot of their tracks were very similar to Super Mario Karts. Then yeah, going forward, the 3DS added hang gliders and motion controls to a handheld device. Because the Wii kind of had motion controls, but that's the Wii's whole thing. And then 8 introduced anti-grav and underwater sections. Then 8 Deluxe reintroduced the 2-item rule, where you could have 2 items as opposed to just holding one. Then, of course, you get Mario Kart World, which is a complete upheaval of everything and kind of, you know, one of the things that I'm finding interesting, I don't know how I feel about it, with Mario Kart World, is the fact that it will automatically hold the items behind you. Obviously, you saw I did that a lot in this. When I play the DS, you'll see I do it a lot there as well. And really, like, anything other than 8 Deluxe, I'll start doing that. The reason for that is because 8 Deluxe was the one that allowed you to hold 2 items at once, and when you held an item behind you, it didn't open up a new slot. Essentially, like in this game, when I had a shell, if I would hold the shell behind me, it would open up my item slot to get another item. That's why you would typically hold them behind you. Apart from defense and stuff like that. In Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, when you have an item and you hold it behind you, it still takes up one of the item slots. So, there's not as much of a reason to constantly hold it behind you, as much as just holding it behind you when you need to have defense. With Mario Kart World, they're making it so that when you're holding an item, it will automatically put it behind you. It'll automatically be put into defense mode where it'll be used up. I don't know how I feel about that. But I will say, it's definitely, like... I started playing this specific game, and I started going back into my old habits from when I played the DS when I was growing up. The Mario Kart DS. It was one of those things. I started getting back into those old habits of how I would play the game. So it's just one of those things that's like... This game really does feel like the basis for things going forward. Which is awesome. Because I really did enjoy it. I'm glad that they didn't stick with the, like, fully 2D Super Mario Kart. Because I feel like it would have been a vastly different series if they didn't change it. But that's all I've got for today. Next week, I am going to be shifting my schedule a little bit. I will not be streaming on Monday. I will be streaming on Tuesday. So it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Which I know this week was also awkward with the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday as opposed to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then as well going back, it's just been after next week things should level back out. So it's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday next week. Have a wonderful Monday. It is Memorial Day, I want to say, if you live in the US, so enjoy that. I always get those specific holidays mixed up. But yeah, I will be playing. What is my next game? My next game is Super Circuit. So on Tuesday, I'll be playing some Super Circuit. Wednesday will be Double Dash. And we'll end it off next week, Friday, with some Mario Kart DS. Hold on, that feels wrong. Hold on. Super Circuit. Double Dash. DS. B. 7. Okay. I misjudged timing. Oh no. I may be streaming 4 days next week. Yeah, so what I did is when I decided to do this, I planned out that I would play one Mario Kart game a stream from when I got back from getting my wisdom teeth pulled up to the release of Mario Kart World. And when I calculated it, there were just enough. I must have miscounted because there's one extra that I need to fit in somewhere. So I will probably do 4 streams next week, Tuesday through Friday. If not, it'll be the following week, and I'll just add in that Thursday. No, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. That sucks. We'll see how Tuesday goes. If Super Circuit feels like Super Mario Kart, I am going to play a couple races and then move on. And play Double Dash. So we'll have to see how it goes. But tentative scheduling with that, I guess. Either way, next stream is next week Tuesday. Don't worry too much about specifics. I'll figure that sort of stuff out on my own. Keep watch for the schedule. I post it in the Discord, on Blue Sky, and Twitter now because I'm back on that hell site. But yeah. I hope you all enjoyed this gameplay. I will be continuing with more Mario Kart next week. Thank you, everybody, so much for coming by. Hope you all have a wonderful time zone. Make sure you take care of yourself, drink some water, get some rest, all that good stuff. And I'll see you next time. Well.